Hi, good afternoon. This is Giovanni. Thank you for joining me this week on The Future with Feroce. As I indicated in the first show, what I hope to do is weekly just highlight an issue or two that's important for us to address in Rhode Island, and then speak very briefly as to what I have going on, and then speak to you about the future, which is the most important, and the planning that we need to do, the infrastructure support we need to build, and make sure we're all moving at the same speed so that we bring a better Rhode Island to all of us. So with that, I'd like to begin with sports betting. Sports betting was in the news this week. Obviously has a lot of implications across the nation. So I wanted to highlight what I think is important for us to understand as we watch the legislative package brought to us. One of the things that's important is, first of all, the speed in which things are going to be addressed. I would think it's not a good idea to rush to failure. We need to take a deep breath and make sure that if we have the answers this year, we do it. If not, we wait until the next one. And the reason for that is the following. You need to understand the business. So the business is going to now be available at approximately, I believe, 40 states. Although everyone can get into it, there ultimately will be an additional 40 states or so that are going to get into it. There are about 12 to 14 at the beginning. We probably will be in the next batch of 3 to 4 states to jump in on it. What I've understood is the following. There's about $150 billion a year that's bet illegally in the United States. Putting this in a legal forum will allow for people to actually engage in this type of activity, which frankly I don't have an issue with. What I want to do, though, is make sure that we have the best, absolute best way to have people interact and maximize what we can gain out of it by paying attention to how it works. So there are going to be a lot of companies that are jumping in addition to the states, to make it all work. So the early estimates are there's about $8 billion that'll be able to be captured through taxes from all of these states getting into it. What our piece is yet to be known. I know they've budgeted $23 million for next year. I don't know how they can know that, frankly, because of the business. And so what I've learned is that it's really about what's called the lowest take rate. So it's basically how much does it cost to place the bet. And so all of the infrastructure we put together, the companies we work with, and the state apparatus, which I'm a little bit nervous about being involved, does in fact equate to what that number is. And so just picture years ago when people used to put in a stock trade, it could cost $50. Then the Charles Schwabs of the world came by and they lowered that amount to place a trade. Now we have entities such as Robinhood, which operate at a negative margin. So it's really about getting market share, trying to understand what all the business is. And that comes from an article in MSN that I had recently read last week. But as I really looked at it, I thought to myself, how can we rush into this without understanding, what it really means for Rhode Island? So my commentary on sports betting is the following. I urge the leaders of Rhode Island, those in the legislature, and the governor, the existing governor, to please slow down. Make sure you have the right package, put the right product in place, in this case the venue, and therefore we will have the best opportunity to put out what we feel is the right product and get the most revenue for the state. So with that, I'd just like to also add, really applaud the new mayor of Warwick, Joe Solomon. I heard recently they were going to waive the proposed fees for the people to go to Oakland Beach. I think that's a great move. People just need money in their pocket. Just grabbing anything that's left isn't the play. I'm glad that he recognized that and made that a move. And I'm happy that the people of Rhode Island will be able to enjoy Warwick and Oakland Beach in the near future and hopefully years to come. In the next segment, I'd like to talk about briefly of my upcoming events, and then we'll wrap it up after that with what I think the future of Rhode Island needs on a week-by-week basis to move forward. Thank you.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get here and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Follow me. Paid for by Feroce for Governor.
Welcome back. This segment, I'm just going to highlight what we have going on in the Feroce campaign this week. Before I do that, I hope you see that I strategically placed my head in the O behind me, which seems to hopefully fit. But, you know, as much as I like to smile and kid around with everybody else, the reality is we have a lot to do, and that's going to kick off this Sunday at 2 p.m. My mother is in town. She'll be there at 2 o'clock to kick off the campaign with me, my family, my friends. I hope you all can join me. It really is open to the public. It's complimentary. We'll have food, drinks, entertainment. And we have even the balloons for kids. The balloon guy will put it up there and enjoy. Everyone can enjoy the great balloons that Steve makes. So with that, please join me at 1579 Post Road. That's the headquarters for the Feroce for Governor campaign. We'll be having it in the parking lot under a tent. And there's parking both here and across the street. Thank you to the local businesses who allowed me to park there. And look forward to seeing you on Sunday. When we come back in the next segment, I'll just briefly highlight what I think is a good next step as we move toward the future. And I look forward to having you back.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get here and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Follow me. Paid for by Feroce for Governor.
Okay, the big news this week was that you know, we have now a surplus. So it went from a $200 million deficit to a potential $32 million surplus. So what's important to understand is planning. A future with Feroce, with Governor Feroce, is this. I will absolutely have the best planners that anybody can put together. It's important for our state. It's important to understand what 5-10 years looks like down the road, even 25, really, for the big strategic decisions. And so as we move, you know, toward getting those professionals in place, understanding that it's not what you happen to make this year. I'm going to give you a business equivalency. I build out 5-year plans for businesses all the time. And what we do is we acknowledge what we need to make this year, what we need to make next year, the 3rd year, the 4th year, the 5th year. And so if you are projecting ahead of that, we actually ease off on the following years, because meeting what you said you were going to do is what's most important. You get paid for the discipline. You get paid big dollars for the discipline in business. And so think about it at the governor level and at the state level, that if in fact we are trending ahead, that we don't just keep the money. Imagine overpaying for a jacket or a shirt and someone just gets to keep the extra $10. It makes no sense, okay? We need professionals in place to lead the state of Rhode Island. I'm that person. You know, I chose a few years ago when I had an issue with a trademark to not build a business, because I was not going to build something that I couldn't own and take advantage of for the people that worked hard with me. But you know what? That skill set is not lost. I've applied it to other businesses who are thriving. Obviously, you know about the big business I built here in the state of Rhode Island. But I'm going to do it for the state itself. And we're going to understand how to manage that. And we're going to hit the numbers we said we're going to hit. We're going to cut spending everywhere we can. And we're going to lower how much money we take out of people's pockets. That's the bottom line. I believe that you should have the most disposable income you can possibly have and spend it the way you want to spend it. That's the way I am. That's what I'll be like as governor. And I hope you can support me and you join me. And please join me this weekend on Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Feroce for Governor headquarters, 1579 Post Road. Look forward to meeting you in person. Please bring your friends and family. And let's make Rhode Island the best state in the nation. We can do that. And I'm going to put you on a path to success. Massive success. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.